When investigators enhanced the original 911 recording weeks later, they noticed something beneath Evan's whisper. Not hiding, saying one sentence over and over. "You did exactly what I needed." They say the police treat every 911 call like it's real, because once in a while, one is real. This story happened to a man named Evan Hale, a warehouse supervisor in a quiet suburb, where nothing more serious than a stolen bike ever made the local news on a Tuesday night. In early October, Evan got home just after 9 p.m. He ate leftovers, showered, and settled into his usual routine. TV on low volume, phone scrolling, lights dim. Nothing out of the ordinary. No visitors, no phone calls, no emergencies. At 10:41 p.m., there was a sharp knock at his front door, not loud. Through the peephole, he saw two police officers standing on his porch. One older, one younger, both serious. He opened the door. "Evan Hale?" the older officer asked. "Yes," Evan said. "What's going on?" "We received a 911 call from this address," the officer replied. "Are you alone right now?" "The call came in about 6 minutes ago. Open line, breathing." Then the caller started whispering. Evan felt a flicker of confusion, then annoyance. "That wasn't me. You can check my phone. They didn't step inside yet." The older officer asked, "Did anyone else have access to your house tonight? A roommate, guest, family member?" "No, just me." The officers exchanged a look. "Can we come in?" the older one asked. Evan hesitated, then stepped aside. The house was exactly as he'd left it. Lights on in the living room. TV paused mid-scene. Sink empty, doors locked, windows shut. The younger officer walked through the rooms methodically, while the older one stayed with Evan near the couch. "Did the caller say anything specific?" Evan asked. The officer nodded slowly. "They said they were in danger." That wiped the smile off Evan's face. The younger officer returned. "No sign of anyone else. No forced entry." The older officer pulled out a small recorder. "We're going to play the call for you, just to confirm." Evan felt a tightness in his chest as the audio crackled to life. At first, there was only static, then breathing, slow, controlled, then a whisper. "Please don't hang up." Evan's face drained of color. The voice on the recording was his. Same cadence, same slight rasp, same pause between words. The whisper continued. "He's here. I can hear him moving." Evan shook his head violently. "That's not possible. I didn't say that." The whisper grew shakier. "I don't think he knows I'm hiding yet." The younger officer watched Evan carefully now, hand resting near his belt. The recording ended. "I didn't call anyone." The older officer studied him. "Do you recognize what you're saying?" Evan swallowed. "No." The officer frowned, because the caller gave details about this house, about your schedule, about where you usually sit at night. Evan's heart started pounding. The younger officer asked, "Is there anywhere someone could hide here? Basement? Attic?" Evan hesitated. "Why didn't you mention that earlier?" the older one asked. I forgot," Evan said, pushed aside jackets, pulled the panel loose. The crawl space was empty, dusty, undisturbed. Evan exhaled, dizzy with relief. "That proves it," Evan said. "There's no one here." The older officer didn't look convinced. "There's something else," he said. "The call didn't end normally." "What do you mean?" "It disconnected abruptly," the officer replied. "Like the caller dropped the phone." Evan frowned. "Dropped it where?" The officer didn't answer. Instead, he walked into the kitchen and looked around. Then he reached under the table. He pulled out Evan's phone. He checked his jeans. Empty. His phone was locked, screen dark. No missed calls, no outgoing calls, but the emergency call log was there. Made at 10:35 p.m. Duration, 1 minute, 12 seconds. Evan's knees went weak. The younger officer asked quietly, "Are you sure you didn't fall asleep or make the call accidentally?" Evan shook his head. "I was awake, watching TV. The phone never left me." The older officer tapped the screen. "There's more." He played the last 3 seconds of the call. At first, silence. Then a sound. Footsteps. Slow, heavy. Then Evan's voice again, no longer whispering. "He found me." The call cut out. The room felt smaller after that. The officer searched again. Every room, every closet, every corner, nothing. No intruder, no evidence, no explanation. After 20 minutes, they left, filing it as an unfounded emergency. Before going, the older officer paused at the door. "If anything else happens tonight," he said, "call us immediately." Evan locked the door behind them and leaned against it, shaking. He didn't sleep. He sat on the couch until sunrise, lights on, phone in his hand, listening to every creak and groan of the house. Nothing happened. The next morning, Evan called in sick and spent the day replaying the events in his head. That night, he stayed at a friend's place. The following evening, he returned home with a sense of forced normalcy. He checked the crawl space again, still empty. At 10:17 p.m., his phone buzzed. Unknown number. He didn't answer. A voicemail appeared seconds later. It was 11 seconds long. When he played it, there was only breathing at first, then a whisper. "You weren't supposed to leave." Evan dropped the phone. Police traced the number. It came from inside the house, from Evan's phone. The final detail is what makes this story hard to forget. When investigators enhanced the original 911 recording weeks later, they noticed something beneath Evan's whisper. Another sound, barely audible, a second voice. Male, calm, speaking close to the phone, not whispering, not hiding, saying one sentence over and over. "You did exactly what I needed." And to this day, no one has been able to explain why the voice stopped calling right after Evan moved out.